Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are undertaking a truly fascinating journey. We're going to unpack a masterclass on human potential synthesized from centuries of global proverbs, timeless philosophical wisdom, and insights from some of history's absolute greatest thinkers. If you've ever wondered what the exact blueprint for personal mastery looks like, well, you are in the right place. Let's build that blueprint.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our roadmap today is going to walk step by step through a structured journey, covering 5 key areas. We're going from the internal mind out to the world, conquering the inner mountain, the forge of discipline, the power of persistence, defining true holistic wealth, and finally, the art of leadership. So, starting off with part 1, conquering the inner mountain, overcoming fear and taking action, because every journey really has to start right inside our own minds. You know, Sir Edmund Hillary, literally the first confirmed climber to reach the summit of Mount Everest, he made this brilliant observation. He said, "It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." And our source material consistently highlights this exact point. Our biggest obstacles are completely internal. It's just like the great Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We spend so much of our energy worrying about the jagged terrain of the mountain, when the real barrier keeping us stuck at base camp is just our own internal fear of the climb.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between inaction and action. Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. This realization from Stephen King perfectly captures the foundational key to all success. You just cannot sit around waiting for the perfect moment or for the absolute absence of fear. You have to force action. Action is the bridge between the amateur who simply imagines the summit and the professional who actually starts climbing.
Which brings us to phase 2, the forge of discipline and the brutal necessity of self-mastery. Once you take that action, you have to lock it in. People so often look at discipline as this rigid, joyless restriction, but listen to how Abraham Lincoln frames it. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Think about that. Discipline isn't a punishment at all. It is the vital, structural bridge connecting your current fleeting desires to your ultimate grandest accomplishments. It is the ability to say no to a momentary distraction so you can say a massive yes to your true potential. It's really all about owning yourself. Let's move to and see how this builds into the very architecture of internal growth. It's a progression. It starts with repeated actions. Those repeated actions harden into formed habits, and those habits inevitably yield sustained excellence. This perfectly mirrors the wisdom of Will Durant when he summarized Aristotle, saying, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit." You simply cannot dream yourself into character. You have to hammer and forge it through daily repetition.
All right, moving to phase 3, the power of persistence and enduring the process over time, because that discipline is going to face friction.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible global universality of this concept. Look at this. From Japan, we hear, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8." From Latin cultures, we learn that water cuts rock because of persistence, not power. And from Ethiopia, the wisdom that one stroke does not fell a great oak. Across wildly different cultures, geographies, and eras, humanity has independently arrived at the exact same conclusion. True greatness is forged not by sudden magical leaps, but by enduring the incredibly unglamorous process of just trying again tomorrow. Just watch how this plays out over time. Confucius taught that the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. On day 1, you're just carrying small stones. It feels completely insignificant. But look at day 100. That consistency really begins to compound. And by year 1, the mountain is moved. As productivity expert James Clear points out in our sources, time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Persistence is simply feeding time with the right daily habits until the math finally works out in your favor.
I want to pause right here for a second and just ask you this directly. What are we actually working so hard to build? I mean, we've talked about conquering fear, forging our discipline, and persisting through all that grueling friction. But what is the actual ultimate reward at the end of this roadmap?
That brings us to phase 4, defining true holistic wealth, health, happiness, and financial freedom. So the crucial point is, and this is synthesized straight from the source material, look at how small a slice financial assets actually represent here, just 10%. Instead, true wealth is heavily dominated by health, peace of mind, and a loving family. A truly rich mindset realizes that money is a good servant, but it's a remarkably poor master. Riches might fill your pockets, but purpose, connection, and vitality,
That's what fills your life. If you end up losing your health or your peace of mind just to gain $1, you haven't succeeded. You've actually bankrupted your holistic wealth.
Let's look a little closer at these components. Health is absolutely the greatest gift. It is the silent partner behind all of your success. Your mental health is an ongoing process, not some final destination you just magically arrive at. We really have to recognize that success means absolutely little if it costs you your peace of mind. And finally, gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate mechanism of wealth because it turns what we already have into enough. The genuinely wealthiest person is not the one who owns the most stuff, but the one who appreciates the most.
Which leads us to our final stage, Section 5, the art of leadership, serving and growing others. We define true leadership here as translating vision into reality by serving others and helping them discover their own potential. This draws from leadership expert Warren Bennis, who spoke of translating vision to reality, and Mahatma Gandhi, who taught us that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. A true leader serves first and leads second. Leadership is never about having power over people. It is entirely about taking responsibility for them.
This single quote from Jack Welch perfectly encapsulates our entire explainer today. Before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. Think about the journey we just mapped out together. We started completely internal, conquering our own fears and building our own discipline. That was growing yourself. But the pinnacle of self-actualization isn't isolation. It's turning outward, it's taking the strength, the discipline, and the wealth you've built, and actively using it to build up the people around you.
We want to leave you with this final provocative thought. As our sources consistently remind us, the life you desire begins with the decisions you make today. We've shown you the roadmap, but the journey of 1,000 miles still requires that single first step. So I ask you, what is the single stone you will carry away from your mountain right now? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this empowers you to take action today.